Hello and welcome back to the World Monoposto Sim Racing Championship 2025, round 11, bringing us to Silverstone in Great Britain. The weather is going to hold, so we're not going to have the sort of chaos we saw last time out at Spa, but Silverstone, a classic circuit that always brings the action and intrigue. And joining me this afternoon for all the action and intrigue is Robin Ciuman. Robin, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Very much looking forward to this one. It's actually the first race in Silverstone that I'm commentating on because I've always been on holiday the last years. So yeah, really excited to see how this plays out.
Yes. Oh, that's very true, actually. And excuse me, race control just burst into my ears telling us that qualifying is starting any second. So before we jump into the session, let's have a look at the standings as we move into round 11. In the Drivers' Championship, it was a vital win for Lucas Murno. They thought they would be able to peg him back a little bit last week. It was a fine performance in the wet to move 24 points clear of Philip Pushka. Pascal Poland's missing out, very costly. Axel Flam now moving closer to his teammate and away from Gabriel Peckley. Alexander Knezovic is missing the next few races, which means there's a chance for Aaron Curtis, Misha Smith, and Benny Vella to potentially shut the gap a little bit. In the constructors, it's still a very close three-way fight at the top, but SCMM definitely need to pick up some points to risk falling away from it. Just 4 points between Vanguard and Cesario. In the meantime, HRT comfortably best of the rest, and United Racing Club leading from fifth down. A very close three-way battle for fifth, and then from eighth down, a five-way fight, I should say, for eighth. In terms of the weather today, as mentioned, we will be getting away with a nice dry race at Silverstone in both qualifying and the race. As mentioned, the session has just started, so let's go out on track and join the cars as they are on their outlaps. 15 minutes, set the best times. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, as you were talking about the Constructors' Championship, I think this is now a very crucial part of the season for them. Scuderia Cesario was really able to gain some ground as we see championship leader Lucas Murno there with the car upgrades that they brought a couple of races ago. And since then, Murno has absolutely been dominating, but Vanguard has been more consistent with their two cars, and then SCMM dropping away with the issue that they don't have a proper second driver. This second seat has been filled by various drivers since Ruben Meshida announced his retirement from WMSC, and I think this is what has been putting them on the back foot. And now I think pretty much it is only a fight between Cesario and Vanguard. And this one could be a bit of an indicator on where this fight is going.
Absolutely. And, Gino, the team boss, who has more often than not been the person to step in that second CMM seat, has done a very fine job, but, made no secret about the fact that he would prefer a second permanent driver. But I think that is maybe now a plan to try and get someone in that seat for next year, and they're just doing what they can this year. And yeah, it very much does put them at a disadvantage unless Philip Push can get himself back in front. It is essentially 2-2 against 1. So very hard to see a way back for them. But who knows what happens? It could take one messy race and a good result for them, and they might find themselves back in it. But I think they may need a little bit of luck for that to happen. Absolutely. In the meantime, Lucas Murno, championship leader and the first person out to start a flying lap of the Silverstone circuit, and immediately getting to grips with this fast flowing configuration. We fire through cops and head towards the fabled Maggots and Beckett's complex. The car squirming a little bit there through Beckett's, but still very quick. Head down the hanger straight into Stowe. Just 3 corners to go for Lucas Murno to set the benchmark in qualifying. Through club and towards the line. And the time to beat is going to be a 1 minute 27.4. Let's see how the cars behind do. Well, teammate Peckley immediately a second off. Gonzalez Cativo there once again in the HRT. This time subbing for Alexander Knezovic rather than Misha Smith. Misha Smith returning. Here comes Maximilian Jaeger for Better Julia. Go across the line and up ahead of Aaron Curtis, the United Racing Club car.
Interesting order Vanguard is at the moment. Laflamme quicker than Poland's. We haven't seen their laps. Don't know if Poland's made a mistake somewhere, but that is quite a sizable a gap between them, over 4 tenths. Poland's usually a bit quicker, but Laflamme has been getting closer and closer to his teammate over the course of this season.
And we just we'll come back on that in a second, but we see another newcomer here today, Gustavo Brzezski, in for Gustavo Fragoto at Bravo Snow Shatton. So a debut for him. Let's hope for a nice incident-free afternoon for him and see what he can do. First time in WMSC. And on the situation with Laflamme, who's just seen Misha Smith tuck in behind and split the Vanguards. One of the things that may be helping, maybe not accounting for all 4 tenths, but that may be accounting for the performance, is Axel Laflamme is, I believe, the first driver on the grid to take a 4th engine this season. So there are 3 engines allotted to every team. The engines lose a little bit of horsepower every race, and they can switch in which of those 3 engines they use at any given race. So whether they choose to use one engine for 6 races, another for 6 races, and so on, or if they, rotate the engines throughout. So they literally do race 1, engine 1, race 2, engine 2, and so on. But teams do have the option to take a 4th engine in exchange for a grid drop. So Axel Laflamme will have a 10-place grid penalty, but has taken a 4th engine. So that engine has no wear on it. So he has more horsepower than anyone else out there today. And obviously it's a very quick track. So he's hoping that will give him something of an advantage or an edge, or at least something to try and fight back against Lucas Murno.
Yeah, and all it takes is one safety car and everybody coming into the pits for Laflamme to jump a lot of cars. And then he would be right there. It could be a very, very interesting afternoon, this one, at a track that usually sees some fantastic racing, as you already said at the beginning of this show. It will be very exciting to see Laflamme fighting his way through the field with that car that has so much more power than most of the others around him. Also interesting will be what HRT can do. They have been on a bit of a resurgent run the last races. They started this season very slowly, but have been climbing back towards the top, and Knezovic in the last race in Belgium topped that one off with a P2 finish in amazing fashion. He surprised us all by absolutely judging the conditions and the tyres perfectly then.
Indeed, and it's great to see that Misha Smith, after missing last week, has come back in and seemed to pick up that performance mantle very well. Only half a second off pole, far cry from where HRT were round 1 in Melbourne. Obviously not scoring points for the first...
Oh my goodness, that is bad.
Oh, and that is Lucas Murno out of qualifying, and that is Better Julia of... Was that Benton Reader?
I think I might have seen...
Oh no, it is Benton Reader. There's Jaeger.
No, it was Benton Reader, yeah. He has lost his rear wing in that incident.
Oh, and that will be analysed as to who was at fault there. We cut to it just at the moment where it seemed like Lucas Murno was maybe unsure of what side to go of Daniel Benton Reader, so it will be interesting to see who's adjudged at fault. This is a huge opportunity if the track is getting quicker for Laflamme, Smith, and Polands to get ahead of Lucas Murno. I don't know if Lucas Murno has retired or if has gone to the pits. I think it has retired. Yeah, I mean, even if he'd gotten to the pits, the damage would be just incredible.
Peckley
Oh,
is asked
Peckley's.
to retire the car.
That was
Has
Murno.
this been a separate incident somewhere? I mean, the thing is, the rule is that if you make it to the pits, you can escape back into the pits, fix any damage. And I think Mano made it back into the pits on 3 wheels. But I think he's just left the pit lane.
That was definitely Lucas Murno we saw in that incident, wasn't it?
Yeah, there he is back on an outlap. So I think he made it back into the pits, or into the pit lane at least, and that is when you can escape and go back to your garage and get any damage fixed. But Benton Reader very slow, and yeah, I mean.
Oh, and Gabriel Ube has just been asked to retire the car as well. So there's been a couple of accidents here, and as you say, there is Peckley. Oh, Peckley's gone over the tyre. He's gone over the day, and Murno's been asked to retire the car now as well.
Yeah, that's all sorts of trouble there, and I think Benton Reader might have a penalty coming his way because he was sitting very slowly, almost stationary on the racing line. He tried to get out of the way, you saw that there, but it was just too late.
Yeah, and it did look like that Murno was either on a flying lap or clearly ramping up one.
Yeah,
I think it was
he
a flyer.
definitely was. 2 purple sectors.
Just, yeah, big incident, and it's somehow managed to take out both Cesarios. That is huge, and a big opportunity for everyone else with the track improving.
But the lap times haven't really been improving. I mean, Murno was on an overall fastest lap, but no improvement so far from Laflamme. Neither an improvement from Poland, but Pushka moved up to 4th.
So that's interesting. I believe that's Aaron Curtis in the comments, who escaped out, even though they didn't get any damage. But obviously, when you escape out, I believe that is. I'm right in saying I think it's session over then, isn't it? So that's why they've not gone back out on track to improve their time. So Curtis currently sat 14th behind Menegretti. In the meantime, here's Laflamme, who just seems to squirm a little bit wide coming out of Beckett's. He was up by 500ths, then he's down by 500ths. This is going to be a vital final sector for Axel Laflamme. All about how he takes Stowe, Vale and Club to the scene of the incident that took out both Cesarios. Round the final corner we go. Axel Laflamme, is it provisional pole? It is, by 400ths of a second. Can anyone else take this opportunity to get ahead of Lucas Murno?
The thing is, as it stands right now, Murno would still start this race from pole because Laflamme has that 10th place grid penalty coming his way, so that is not too bad for Murno at the moment, as long as it's only Laflamme. Smith, Pushka, Polands, they have the opportunity to reply here.
Over 2.5 minutes left to go. Yep, understood, Aaron, as well. I would be much the same. I think it is instinct that when you can usually just hit escape and jump back to the pits and start an outlap, I think that's the natural thing to do. But obviously, because we are in competition rules, yeah, that unfortunately means not back out on track this time. But I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities in the race. Definitely going to be an interesting one. In the meantime, Philip Bushka 10th down after Sector 1 and not improving on his personal best. Down the hanger straight, and there is an improvement in Sector 2. So Pushka could at least jump Smith, maybe even Murno. Let's see what he can do. It's very close.
We need a mighty final sector, though, to beat Murno.
I think this is maybe just going to promote him one spot. And it does exactly that. And only just. Philip Pushka up to 3rd. And here comes Misha Smith. Hoping to continue a strong run of form. Less than 90 seconds left in the session. People are going to be gearing up for their final runs. Through Maggots and Beckett's comes Smith. Looks very tidy through there. And perfectly is going to get a little bit of a toe from teammate Gonzalez Cativo. That is very well orchestrated by the HRT team.
Yeah, beautifully done, this one.
Let's see what he can do. The only about a 2/10 off after the first 2 splits. This could push him back up to 3rd and closer to Murno. And he retakes 3rd off Philip Pushka. The man that I really want to see is Pascal Polens. Is he not setting a flyer at any point to try and get closer? He's on an outlap, and he has...
It's going to be tight.
Oh, yeah, that
25 seconds. He has the entire final sector to go. I think he should be fine, but he needs to get a move on, and he might encounter some traffic, but the track looks quite clear, and this may just be timed to perfection for Pascal Polens.
I think he might very well be. I think there's another car behind him. He might be the penultimate man, depending how close the car behind has made it. But he's the man we need to keep an eye on. A big lap now for Pascal Polens. Missing last week with his title rival picking up the win.
This is an opportunity, but so far, I think he's still... The first lap is still his personal best so far. 1/10 down in the first sector. Not too bad. Might still be on for the front row start at the moment.
Be all about how much more time he loses in this middle sector, or if he can pull something back. Attacking cops. There's a yellow flag ahead, but oh my goodness, there's a car just rejoining the track to the right there. Very lucky they didn't try and rejoin a little bit quicker. I think he's been able to continue his lap.
It's purple.
It's a huge middle sector for Pascal Polens. Could it be a Vanguard front row? And once again, it all hinges on Stowe, Vale and Club. Through Club. Towards the line. Pascal Polens. Is it the front row? Is it pole? It's not. That final sector. Just not enough, but it does mean he's going to be putting the pressure on Lucas Murno.
And he will start right alongside him, because Laflamme has that 10 place grid penalty, so it's Murno Polens in the front row.
Of course it is. So Axel Laflamme does technically record another pole position, but he will not take that slot from the start. So it will be Lucas Murno from Pascal Polens, Misha Smith and Philip Pushka on row 2, Gabriel Peckley and Daniel Benson-Reed on row 3, Gino Gajano alongside Dominic Rustemeyer for row 4, and Diogo Meneghetti in 9th with Paolo. I always get the math wrong. It'll be Paolo Willarmi in 10th, and then Laflamme will slot in 11th. Then, as business as usual, Gonzalez Cativo, 12th, Maximilian Jaeger, also not 12th, as the graphic currently says. I think someone maybe has left the server. It's Jaeger from Curtis, Mateus Machado, Joe Marcus Angeli, Gabriel Hube, who had to retire from the session, getting caught up in an incident somewhere, Jean Palaro and Harley Self for Infernal Void, and Velocita Virtuale, Thiago Mello, 19th, for Bravo Snowschatten, Jendrik Beerhoff in the other Velocita, and newcomer Gustavo Brzezinski for Bravo Snowschatten at the back of the grid. So we will have a short 10-minute warm-up, and then we'll be back for lights out at Silverstone very soon. Welcome back to round 11 of the World Monoposto Sim Racing Championship 2025. Race start coming soon, but just slightly delayed as the grid is being reset after the addition of several penalties that came at the start of the warm-up as a result of race control, looking at the big incidents that occurred in qualifying. So we will go through the grid. The graphic is going to show the provisional grid. We will talk you through all the penalties and how they line up in a moment as we go through. So Axel Flam was the quickest man of the session, but takes a 10-place grid drop due to an engine. Lucas Murno was given a 5-place grid drop due to his incident with Daniel Bentonreader, meaning Pascal Polens is on pole alongside Misha Smith. Then it's Philip Pushka, Gabriel Peckley, and then not Daniel Bentonreader, but he has a back of the grid penalty to serve from a separate issue, but has been given a 10-place grid penalty for his involvement in the incident with Lucas Murno. And then I tried to keep up, but I couldn't keep up. So Lucas Murno slots
Gino
into
Gaziano and Lucas Murno in 6th then.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Thank you to our producer for giving me another crack at that. Yes, it's Poland's from Misha Smith, then Philip Pushka from Gabriel Peckley. Gino Gaziano will line up alongside Lucas Murno. Then Dominic Rustemeyer will inherit 7th place alongside Diogo Meneghetti. Then it's Paolo Willami alongside... Where's Gonzalez Cativa gone? So we've just had another update from race control as I failed to go through the grid again. And that is the race will be starting in 4 minutes. So clearly having some issues resetting the grid. But yes, Daniel Bentonreader will start from the back due to a previous incident where he caused the collision in San Marino, but has been given a 10-place grid penalty for that incident you saw in qualifying with Lucas Murno, whilst Murno picked up 5. So we're just going to have a little chat about that for a minute, Roman. A very interesting incident. Interesting to see both of them penalised in some way, but clearly more of the blame apportioned to Bentonreader.
Yeah, and I think that was also what we judged from seeing the incident live and also the replay that we got. Bentonreader more at fault for this one. And to be honest, I was a bit surprised to see Murno get penalized. When we heard of the penalty, we thought it was maybe because he left the pit lane after retiring from the session. So we thought maybe this is why he got a 5-place grid penalty. But no, race control deem him also responsible for that incident that also, remember, has taken out other drivers. So maybe they had a deeper look at it compared to what we were able to see, decided to give them both a penalty because it was not only Murno and Bentonreader, because usually you would imagine both getting a penalty results in no one getting a penalty as a racing incident. But maybe because it also took out Aaron Curtis and Gabriel Peckley, they deemed that they both should get penalized. But then again, Murno was on a flying lap. Bentonreader very slow in the last sector, so yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision for me to see both of them penalised. Absolutely, I do agree with the fact that yes, I would apportion more of the blame to Bentonreader, and that's going to be a 10-place grid penalty for the next round. But yeah, the fact that it took out obviously Lucas Murno's teammate for one. I'm not sure if Gabriel Joubert was also caught up in that, as he had to retire from the session. Aaron Curtis, as mentioned. And then, yeah, there was another penalty for Gustavo Brzezinski, the newcomer in the Bravo Snow Shatton, starting from the back of the grid, which he was doing anyway. But, he's been given a back off-grid penalty, along with Daniel Bentonreader. So that I guess we'll see them start side by side at the very back. So yes, slightly interesting start to today's competitive sessions. Certainly not what we were expecting to see, but Lucas Murno in 6th is going to make things a little bit spicy, and it'll be interesting to see how quick he is and if Pascal Polens can capitalise. Obviously, Axel Laflamme knew that he would have this penalty for taking the extra engine. Be interesting to see how quick progress he can make, and he's maximised his qualifying to make sure that penalty is as minimal as possible. So, job one done. It's just how much can he make it count around here. Remember, no push to pass, no DRS. Got to make the overtakes the old-fashioned way, so that extra horsepower will be very useful for Axel Laflamme indeed.
Yeah, and it could be a very difficult afternoon now also for Lucas Murno, and a big afternoon for Pascal Polens, who will start now from pole position with Misha Smith alongside him. Because what has been, I've been talking to Kevin Peters, team boss of Vanguard and United Racing Club before this race, and he said that he believes overtaking will be extremely difficult. And Lucas Murno has now the likes of Pascal Polens, Philip Puschke, and Misha Smith starting out of him, so this will definitely be pretty difficult for him.
It will indeed, and here's confirmation of the grid that we are starting with Polens from Smith. We've got Gajano and Rustemeyer on row 3. Lucas Murno starting 7th alongside Diogo Meneghetti. Then Paolo Alami alongside Gonzalez Gativo, Axel Laflamme in 11th, with Maximilian Jaeger in 12th. And then that's some of the heavier penalties kind of out of the way. Then we have a run of cars based on the times they set in qualifying. How about that? Aaron Curtis alongside Max Machado, Jean-Marc Angeli ahead of Gabriel Joubert. Obviously, his session affected by the retirement. Jean Palauer alongside Harley Self, Thiago Melo alongside Hendrik Beerhoff. And then the penalties at the very back. Daniel Benton-Rieder, Gustavo Brzezinski. So, the car's popping in, the lights coming on. And the lights go out at Silverstone, and we are off and running. It's a brilliant start from Pascal Polens. Misha Smith getting bogged down. This is a big moment. Philip Puschke all the way around. Oh, there's a big crash at the back. Huge crash at the back. This might be an early safety car. 3 cars taken up. I think that's Gonzalez Cativo in there. Some cars running wide. We run through the loop for the first time. Misha Smith is trying to duke it out, though, with Philip Puschke. This is a big opportunity for Philip Puschke. He needs to get some points back for him and SCMM. Can he hang on as we head into Brooklands for the first time? And Smith is not giving it up. Brilliant bit of racing. Oh, my goodness. And is that Murno? Murno's up to 4th already. What a start from him. And small Murno trying to bully his way through. And the cheeky chop across the nose there from Philip Puschke. They're all kind of queuing up behind him. Momentum struggling there.
Oh, Murno has been hit in the rear there by Gaziano, I think.
Oh, and that he's managed to carry on. I wonder if there's any damage. Murno tucking back in. He's now behind his teammate. Diogo Meneghetti has managed to survive all that. He's up to 4th in the Potenza. But as it stands, oh, and look at that. Smith is right up behind Polens. But here we go. Everyone very racy in these first few laps. Murno is going to be itching to get past his teammate. Is Peckley going to make this easy? I think that was nicely done. He needs to now take up the chase. So Murno up to 5th. And it is Polens from Smith, from Puschke. Brilliant racing from Misha Smith to keep himself in 2nd place. But Puschke is going to want to be getting on the back of that Holland Racing team car as quickly as possible. As mentioned, a big afternoon for them. Laflamme has already made it up to 7th as well. So really important for him to make the use of that new engine. And we've got several cars in the pits already from that first lap incident. Joubert, Machado and Cativo all getting damage repaired. In the meantime, we can see Meneghetti going defensive against Murno as both Peckley and Laflamme close up. We go through Copse a second time. Where is Murno going? Which side? Meneghetti does go defensive. Is Murno going to try and hang it round the outside? It's a risky move. Oh, and Meneghetti's managed to stay there. And I think that's almost found Peckley through again. Peckley's now really stuck up behind them. This is great for Laflamme to kind of bunch these up ahead, but Gajano's now right up with them as well. In the meantime, straight
Smith is
line
going
speed.
for
Smith
it.
is going for the lead. Misha Smith is trying it with Pascal Polens. Polens, the race winner here last year. And I'll tell you what, the speed of that HRT through that middle sector is really good as well. Meneghetti locking up sideways, doesn't cause damage for anyone, and just trying to keep up with Lucas Murno. The pressure told. Meneghetti down to 8th, Murno released. In the meantime, Laflamme on the back of Peckley. These two have had incidents so far this season, but look at that. Look at the speed. They go side by side into Village. They swap positions at the loop. See Laflamme there running the harder tyre, so he'll hopefully try and run longer, but he's managed to do a nice switchback and take it. As we run down the Wellington straight, defensive moves from Laflamme, and I think Laflamme might just have done it.
Yeah, he has that better engine. Now he can really put it to use, and he has made greater use of it so far. He's just behind Murno now, who is trying to catch up to Philip Pushka in 3rd. That still is kind of a gap. And who's that? I think that's Machado getting out of the way. Meneghetti has been passed earlier.
It's going to be really interesting now with Laflamme in clear air. How quickly can he catch up to the cars ahead? As you can see, there isn't much of a gap. Polens isn't pulling Smith. Pushka is sticking with them as well. This is good news for Lucas Murno as well, because I think he will have the pace to get up to them. So we could have a very interesting fight brewing for the lead of this race in a few laps' time.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell you what, I think Laflamme, from what we saw in qualifying, has the best car out of all of them. So he may actually be able to fight for not only a podium, but maybe even more today.
Absolutely, and he's clear of Peckley now, so he's going to hopefully not be focusing about defensive driving and looking at closing the gap at the road ahead. Polens has done well to rebuff Smith. Equally, Smith doing well to rebuff Pushka as they snake down the Wellington straight, trying to break the toe for each other. But it's a big afternoon for Pascal Polens. And I do expect that at some point he will risk an engine... Ooh! Who is that? Is that Gajano?
No, it's Murno!
It's Murno!
It's Murno!
What happened to Lucas Murno? I looked in the background, he was slightly off the track, coming down the Wellington straight at one point, and I thought, oh, maybe that's just a little bit of, like, lag. But has he had an incident here? So...
There was something at that bridge. I saw some part of debris.
Oh! That is very strange. And I wonder if there's been some sort of hardware issue there.
Yeah. We've seen such weird incidents in the past, and usually had something to do with hardware failing. And that has even opened up the opportunity for Pascal Polens even more, because Lucas Murno would be difficult to score points for him at this point, because we see the rear wing missing, but that was a big impact, and there will surely be more damage to the car than what we can see from the outside.
No, absolutely. And yeah, that's blown the race wide open, and obviously he's going to then have to get in the pits. It's going to drop him right to the back, and as you say, he's going to be dealing with issues now throughout the entire race. So this is a huge moment for Vanguard, huge moment for SCMM. Obviously Gajano has now gone up to 6th and inherited it, so this is huge. It's just suddenly shook up this race at Silverstone out of nowhere.
Yeah, but what a rotten afternoon for Lucas Murno. First, this situation in qualifying with Benton Reader, where we thought, well, maybe he still got away with pole position there. Then this 5-place grid penalty, and then this issue that we saw there as Rustemeyer down the Wellington straight is going past Jendrik Beerhoff, who has been running 11th. I think that might also be the highest position that he's ever run in. So nice to see him back and staying out of all the trouble.
And Murno has just been given a 10-second time penalty.
For an unsafe rejoin, as I think that was... Who was that?
That's Murno still getting his damage repaired. He's in for a long stop at the moment.
Yeah, and I think the car behind Jendrik Biff is Maximilian Jäger. He's already left down. He went mega wide there at Cops. That was what I was seeing in the background there. And I was confused why there is a better Julia running behind Jäger, but all sorts of chaos. Wulami is retired, Self is retired. I think they were all involved in that early incident as Jäger is trying to get a lap back on
Self?
We just had word from race control. Some incident between Jäger and somebody else. No further action.
Also, let's have a quick shout out. That's Beerhoff. Apologies, that is Beerhoff, who was just in 11th. And also, let's have a shout out to John Palauro, who, after a rotten run of DNFs in the majority of his races this season, scored his first point last week and running 10th again so far. A good start for John Palauro. But there is a notable absence, it has to be said, in the comments today. Usually we see from team boss Paul Muller of Infernal Void Racing, and unfortunately he is no longer the team boss of those teams. He was due to give the teams up at the end of the season, and he was going to be... and unsafe start for Gonzalez Cativo. He's been given a drive-through penalty. So... yeah, he's running 15th at the minute, so that's going to make it even harder for him to try and pick up points. But yes, yeah, he's moved away from not just WMSC, but esports as a whole, and is moving away. He was always such an enthusiastic and pleasant member of our virtual paddock, so it is a shame to see him go, and after last week, he ended up giving up the teams early. So Danilo Vaz now has Infernal Void, which will be a second team under the Bravo Snow Shatton umbrella, if you like, as of next year. And then Gonzalez Cativo will have Velocita. But yes, no Paul Muller. Shame to see him not with us anymore. But still hoping that Infernal Void can pick up another point this afternoon with John Palauro.
It was a bit of a shame, as you said. Just also as the season was turning around, we saw them close or in the points even in the last few races much more frequently. And that is, well, we still have an almost full grid. 24 cars and entries are listed. 22 people started this race. So this late in the season, still a nice turn-up for this race. As Daniel Benton reader, also a shout out to him. He started back of the grid. He is in the points already and chasing Aaron Curtis, who scored their maiden podium last race in Spa-Francorchamps 2 weeks ago in spectacular fashion, holding off a hard charging Philip Pushka on the last couple of laps.
Yeah, what an incredible result that was for them. Newcomer Gustavo Brzezinski has just been given a warning for blue flags, which is not an uncommon sight with newcomers in WMSC. But yes, Curtis, obviously, as mentioned, accidentally kind of ending his their session early, but great progress made, up to 8th, and currently running well. United Racing Club generally started the season very strongly, but I think, again, because they are a new team, their budget to try and keep up is meaning they're not able to upgrade as much, so performance is not as competitive, but it's a good start to the afternoon for them, with Benton Reader chasing. Rustemeyer 11th well, so a shout for points for him also. In the meantime, these top 3 have not left each other alone. There is just a couple of seconds separating all 3 of them, and Poland, Smith and Pushka now both running quite comfortably. Laflamme has not been able to shut the gap to them at this point. Looking at the tyre situation, our leaders are currently on the medium tyre, and then the chasing Pushka and the Flam are on the hard, so there will be a little bit of a split in strategy there. So we'll see if La Flamme can make those tyres last a bit longer. Maybe it's deliberate, we're not sure. Maybe it is just on pace. It's, slightly unclear to tell at this point. But the person I'm keeping an eye on most for these three is Misha Smith. Could it be a second consecutive HRT podium with basically their other driver? This could be a really positive outcome for them.
Yeah, not only that, but the... Oh, we have another warning there for Gustavo Brzezinski. Pretty stern warning now issued.
Oh, and he's just been given a 10-second time penalty for those incidents so far and has been warned again in that short period of time to look out and move out of the way. So Brzezinski, we've seen newcomers get disqualified for not obeying blue flags before. Let's hope that Brzezinski is not another one of them this afternoon. Meantime, we are on board with Filip Puška, who, as just mentioned, is on the harder tyre compared to the two ahead, so might still be quite happy with his position for the moment to kind of keep pace with them and then run longer and then move on to the more aggressive tyre later in the race. Puška has been good with his tyres historically, so the fact that he's not shutting the gap and making moves might not be an indication just yet of how this is going to go. Although I did mention that La Flamme is struggling to shut the gap. I do feel like it is coming down slightly, but it is gradual at the minute. But I think La Flamme is beginning to catch these three.
I think so. Last time we checked, it was like 7, 6 seconds that he was away. And also it looks a bit like Puška is putting a bit more pressure on Misha Smith. Though Misha Smith, you were talking about a second consecutive HRT podium. This one is, well, he's still on contention for the race win. He's keeping with Pascal Polens, and he is in absolute undercut territory there. So they haven't been that close in Spa-Francorchamps pace-wise. Today they are right with the music down.
To be fair, even Alexander Knežević, there were moments where he thought he could challenge, and then obviously there was the big tyre call that kind of he went the wrong way on, and that he spent a lot of his race then kind of recovering from that. So, they're both clearly in a competitive car, and they're both getting on with it, which is great to see. In the meantime, Dominic Rustemeyer has closed into Jean Palauro and is looking to get his United Racing Club in the points along with his teammate. We approach the village on board, exiting out of the loop. Hammer down. It's a slightly better exit for Palauro. And they've got Slipstream alone to try and help. Rustemeyer closes in, but Wellington Straight not quite long enough. Needs to be a little bit closer. And is going to angle for hopefully a better exit coming out of Luffield. If he can keep at this distance coming out of Maggots and Beckett, he'll have a superb chance down the hanger straight into Stowe. He just has to buy time, but then there is also the dirty air to worry about, and look at how much it affected him through Copse there. That's cost him quite a lot of time. But it does mean he's going to be less affected by the dirty air through Maggots and Beckett. But I think he, as a result, is too far back for the hanger straight, and this is going to be the frustration for him, and for many this afternoon, with the difficulties of overtaking.
Yeah, absolutely. As Daniel Bentonreader is the first one to come into the pits, and this should be a scheduled stop, I guess, because we couldn't tell if there was anything wrong for him. And this is quite interesting. I will just check what tire he started this race on, and it says for me that he started on the medium tire. So, in and out of the pits he goes.
Hard tyre on.
Hard tire on. Well, I've been talking out of this race to Kevin Peters, team boss of Vanguard and United Racing Club, and he told me that a one-stop is possible if you look after your tires. I think Daniel Bentonreader might be on a two-stop here because this is very early, and he would need to take the hard tire now for 40 more laps, so I definitely think he's on two-stop. And I am also in contact with Kevin during the race, and he just told me that La Flamme has taken some damage from the race start. Cativo has been penalized for an unsafe start. And apparently he was involved in all of that chaos that we only saw, and that was difficult to dissect. So La Flamme is also running with a damaged car right now.
And that would explain the lack of inroads he's making. Again, the gap trickling down slowly, but it's certainly not indicative of, I think, the pace he could truly have with that new engine. It was always going to be a risk when obviously you're taking the grid penalty and starting back in the pack, and he has picked something up. In the meantime, Pushka now closer into Smith, closer than we have seen him previously as well. Be interesting to see, obviously, Benson Reed, the first of the medium tyre runners to come in. How much longer will these guys run? How much is the drop-off going to start affecting them? Because is now Pushka on the hard tyre? Are his tyres comparatively going to have more grip at this point? And is this going to allow Philip Pushka to maybe make a move? And he's looking quite good through Maggots and Beckett. Again, though, they just might not be close enough down the hanger straight. I think pit stop timing, and you alluded to the undercut before for Smith, I think for everyone, pit stop timing is going to be crucial this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. This and waiting for a mistake, and there is someone peeling into the pit lane.
Is
Who
that
is
Poland's?
It is Poland's from the race lead. Incredible.
So yeah, I don't think the one stop is on from there unless you're really going to be nursing these hard tyres. I think Silverstone, traditionally a very high tyre wearing track, all these fast sweeping corners, putting on a lot of load on these tyres. I don't think we're going to see a one stop. I'd be very surprised if Poland's does make that work. But out he goes into a nice little bit of free air by the looks of it as well. And we'll now see if Misha Smith reacts. He's making sure he's not being caught by the undercut, that's for sure. In the meantime, Misha Smith is probably not going to be driving as quick as because he might be slightly concerned about the growing pressure of Philip Pushka. He is consistently half a second behind.
Oh, look at that. What a situation we have now. We didn't believe at the beginning of this situation that we would be saying this, but an HRT is leading this race.
It's a brilliant recovery from the team this season. It's been huge considering where they've come from, and obviously, yeah, they're the double constructors champions. But yeah, the start of the season looked particularly bleak, and now they're looking at back-to-back podiums. And dare we say, does Misha Smith have a chance this afternoon? Let's see what he does. See what the strategy is. In the meantime, his teammate Gonzalez Cativo peels off for his stop. He's staying out. He's going to try and run these mediums for a bit longer, so not reacting to Pascal Poland's decision to pit just yet. Philip Pushka staying with for now. And the gap is now just 3 seconds to La Flamme. So La Flamme is again just chipping away very slowly but surely. One eye on Lucas Murno. Murno is up 15th at the minute and still firmly out of the points. He still might have a shot at points, but he's got a lot of work to do from where he is. And how much is that damage going to be slowing his progress? It was a big hit indeed. And remember, 10-second time penalty to boot for an unsafe rejoin.
Yeah, absolutely. But there is one saving grace for Lucas Murno at the moment, because Pascal Polans, he might have come out in free air for the moment, but he's just 2.1 second now away from Gabriel Peckley, Murno's teammate, who will definitely defend against Pascal Polans, because this could be a big race. on a big swing in the Drivers' Championship, and Packley will do absolutely everything to support his teammate in that title fight. But as soon as Poland goes by there, we will have 10 seconds of clear road ahead. So Misha Smith is coming in, and Pushka is staying out. So it's going to be interesting for the virtual race lead.
It is indeed. Now, Peckley and Poland are together on circuit at the moment. They are just going through Club, I should say. And it's going to be very cut and dry in terms of Poland's is going to be back out ahead. How big is the gap going to be? That's 2 laps of an undercut for Pascal Polands, who's just done the fastest lap of the race. So clearly hasn't been slowed up too much by Gabriel Peckley just yet. Oh my goodness, it looked like he was almost kind of overspeed in there, squirming the car under braking in behind Gabriel Peckley. Smith is out, and 7 seconds between. That is an incredible gap.
Goes.
And that's how powerful the undercut is. But, he looked, a last-minute look. It's put Peckley offline. He's going to try and send it all the way around the outside. Oh, they almost touch. Peckley has to leave the space. And he's going to be on the outside of Comps. Is he going to be able to get the move done? There is a back marker in the way. Peckley is not giving it up. Side by side through there. Brilliant racing by both of them. Very, very well done indeed. Is Peckley going to try and fight back? He's going to struggle in the dirty air, and look at how much the car understeers in the aero wash. And a very efficient, solid move from Pascal Polands. Undercut complete, and he's going to make sure he's not losing too much time to Philip Push, who's on that alternate strategy. Very well done.
Yeah, and incredible job there by Gabriel Peckley. He was defending hard. It was a robust defense that he put up, but he always left that one car's width, and Pascal Polands made use of that. So, brilliant racing we saw there for half a lap. So, hats off also to Peckley for that defense.
Very much so. In the meantime, Laflamme in and out from his stop from the from second place. It was a net second place, coming back out into fifth, but obviously Peckley ahead, yet to stop. And you can see the gap there to Misha Smith is much smaller. Let's see what Axel Laflamme can do now. Still not over just yet. And if something bunches the pack back up together, you did see a couple of safety cars causing this last week. In the meantime, Lucas Murno up to 13th. Solid move from him. Maybe a couple of points not out of the question for him this afternoon. He might be hoping for a safety car as well.
Yeah, especially a safety car would put him right back into contention. Considering he's a lap down at the moment, he will then be unable to unlap himself. But first you need the incident for a safety car to trigger. And apart from lap 1, the racing that we've been seeing was quite clean.
Absolutely. The next person is the race leader. So Murno close to unlapping himself without the use of a safety car. I'm sure Philip Pushka, though, will be in no hurry to allow that to happen.
No, absolutely. And this is now a very uncomfortable situation to find yourselves in. Someone who is a lap down, closing in on the race leader. It'll also be interesting to see how hard Pushka will fight this as soon as Murno arrives at the scene. I guess Philip Pushka will be aiming to extend his stint on the hard tyre. He has gone different compared to what Polands and Smith were doing. So...
I tell you what, though, this is a clear indicator that, Murno's damage isn't too substantial. He's still got a good pace in that car. So the repairs he's been able to do in the pit stop mean he is still quick and competitive. He does still have the penalty, which will hinder him further later on, but it's good pace from the championship leader. In the meantime, Misha Smith is dueling with Gabriel Peckley. Peckley yet to stop. Smith has just stopped. It's a very unorthodox pace to try and start the move coming out of the final corner. But bold stuff from Misha Smith, and he gets it done through Abbey and Farm. And that was very, very efficient from Misha Smith and very ruthless indeed. Clearly feeling confident in this HRT car this afternoon.
Yeah, now it's also an opportunity to show his true pace. At the beginning, he was staying with Pascal Polens, but never really close enough to try and move. Let's see what he can do and if he can actually close that gap to Polens now that he is released in clear air. At the minute, they're both catching Philip Pushka, which is, of course, not surprising considering he's still on old hard tires. And now Lucas Murno is right with Pushka. He might be able to try something into Stowe. Pushka not impressed.
No, and there was a moment there I thought, oh, looks like Pushka's just going to stay out of the way, but then very robustly says, nope, this is my racing line, I am taking it, and he does so. So this is going to get interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I wanted to say very good catch there, considering the point that you made about Lucas Murno's pace. So he is either managing. I thought he was going for a dive down the inside there.
Yeah, half a look definitely looked like it, didn't it?
Yeah.
But no, this is very promising from Lucas Murno to try and minimise. Remember, there's 24 points between the two. Oh my word! Lucas Murno, like
there was a weird defensive
jink
move.
Yeah, like a little
by Pushka.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That was well held by Lucas Murno because I think it obviously caught him off guard. But he's held it and he's now going to try and pull clear. He is now back on the lead lap and has about 5 seconds to catch his next target, Dominic Rustermeyer. They're literally just up the road. In fact, with Rustermeyer and Thiago Mello fighting each other, he might be up with them very soon. There brings the other danger of when you're fighting your way back through the pack, don't get caught up in more incidents and more mess. Interesting. So remember, 24 points between Philip Pushka and Lucas Murno. 15 points for a win this afternoon. That would obviously be very useful if Pushka has just been given a warning for moving under braking. I think that's a fair enough warning there from race control. So yeah, it would be interesting if it could stay this way, but obviously Pushka, remember, he needs to stop out of sequence. Poland's at the same point will also want to make that 50 points as he goes side by side through Brooklands and Luffield. Very well done by Rustermeyer and Melo. Again, very good and respectful racing between the pair of them. Melo is not quite done yet. Murno coming to join the party as well. But then through Cops, and there is the issue. And look at that, how much the dirty air has washed Melo wide. And in fact, Melo just moves out of the way. He probably assumed that Lucas Murno was blue flags. But no, that was indeed for position. So Melo has now lost 2 places in just this lap. In the meantime, Philip Pushka this is not for position, and he is hoping to clear through these back markers as quickly as possible, and does so. In the meantime, Peckley has just stopped. And we are with Aaron Curtis. Curtis now up behind Peckley with fresh rubber. Peckley.
This is interesting about Gabriel Peckley. He started on the medium, he has now switched to the hards, and he made that mediums last for 21 laps. So perhaps we could be seeing a one-stop strategy here from Gabriel Peckley. Car is now lighter as fuel is burned off, and the hard tires should last longer than the medium tires did, so he might be trying the one-stop strategy this afternoon.
Absolutely, and that may come to his aid, because we are very much expecting everyone ahead of him to stop again, considering how early their stops were. Well, there'll be one. I say stop again. Pushka has yet to stop, and is indeed the only person, aside from Curtis, in that top 6 who needs to. In the meantime, on board with Lucas Murno, Rustmeyer in sights. And the damage limitation is going to plan so far. Still just over half the race to go. But obviously, as he moves his way up the field, the cars are going to get more competitive. So how easily will Lucas Murno be able to dispatch Dominic Rustmeyer? I mean, I say that, he was able to unlap himself against the race leader. So in theory, this shouldn't take too long, but yeah, coming to really fight the car again in the dirty air through these fast sweeping corners. He's looking to set himself up through the loop and down the Wellington Straight to almost repeat the move he made on Philip Pushka to unlap himself. Tucks in. And someone's just been given a blue flag to let Misha Smith by. His progress being impeded. Rustmeyer hanging on there, though, not able to get the move done this time.
Yeah, and this is something that we've seen all season long, because overtaking in WMSC in 2025 is all about straight line speed, and we've seen that the SCMM was struggling a bit in that area. Maybe that is why it was so much easier for him to get past Pushka than it is now to get past Dominic Rustmeyer, because the United Racing Club, when they were not using old engines, they have been pretty handy on a straight.
And the two drivers at the back, Marcus Angeli and Brzezinski, have just been given 10-second time penalties for ignoring blue flags. It is a final warning for Brzezinski. Car going into pits in the background. That is race leader Philip Pushka finally in for his stop. So just under half distance. Is he going to try and stretch those mediums to the end? It's an interesting length for that tyre.
I don't think that will be possible.
It might be 2 stops for Philip Pushka.
Peckley managed to make them last 21 laps. He's not even made it to the halfway point with the hards. Yes, this will be very difficult, but he might have the option to go for the soft tyre towards the end.
This is true. He rejoins comfortably in 4th. And yeah, those pit stops have really kind of opened out. Although Smith and LaFlamme, I think, might be together on the road. Now, in the meantime, though, is that Cativo?
Yeah.
Cativo and Joubert tangling over each other while Philip Pushka tries to get through. But thankfully, Pushka not caught up it and can now get the hammer down. Yellow flags being shown in Sector 2. But cleared.
In the background,
car in the
there's a car
background.
without, Brzezinski.
And I mean, it's considering the afternoon Brzezinski is having, I'm kind of not surprised. I wonder what caused that, and if they've indeed tangled with someone. And there's going to be another blue flag. I hope he observes that. Here comes Brzezinski. Oh, it looks like he's by himself. And it's just on the curb. Struggling. Oh. No, it looks like he spun off the curb, and I think potentially lag exacerbated that issue there. In the meantime, though, yes, LaFlamme has finally caught Misha Smith. So LaFlamme stopped for hard tyres on lap 13. Misha Smith stopped on lap 15. So similar life tyres between the pair of them. similar strategy, although look at again. I've said it before, dirty air causing Laflamme to have to kind of move out wide and drop back. So this is for position, though, for second place on the road.
Yeah, Laflamme not only battling dirty air, but still the damage that he's taken from that race start. So he might have the freshest of all engines, but in the corners, this car will be pretty difficult to drive, I assume.
I think so. I think so.
Misha Smith will be safe for this lap.
It's going to be quite hard work to get the move done. And, as we saw at the start, Misha Smith wasn't giving up places easily, holding off Philip Pushka very well indeed. Laflamme will have his work cut out. Remember, though, these two will have to stop again. Philip Pushka, we believe, will have to stop again because of the medium tyres. Then is about what Gabriel Peckley can do on what we believe to be a one-stop.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think Pushka will be able to pull away from him, and he's already 14 seconds down, so I guess it won't help him much against those guys ahead, because they will be a pit stop clear by the time they have to come in for a second time. As we are watching the battle for P6 between Diogo Meneghetti, who we are on board with, and Aaron Curtis, who climbed their way back up to 6th. And Meneghetti, well, they were very impressive at the race start, running as high as 4th. Meneghetti is still out of the corner there. The traction that he's having and the grip advantage is incredible. But then Curtis seems to have a bit of the edge there on the straight line. No chance, though, to defend from Meneghetti, who can brake a bit later and is through now and puts that Potenza into P6.
It's a really solid performance so far this afternoon from Diogo Meneghetti. I think he will have to stop again. But he is in contention for points this afternoon. In the meantime, Laflamme, his battle continuing with Smith, very close as we head through Village. All about the exit and the run down this very short Wellington Straight. Smith trying to break the toe. Not close enough this time. Again, varying lines you can take through Brooklands and Luffield. Trying to get the best exit. But Smith is so far putting his car in the right places and doing what he needs to do.
This now is the bit through the S's. This is what is so crucial, because Hangar Straight is your best opportunity. And this looks better now from Laflamme, at least for now. As soon as they approach Chapel, Smith can take the tighter line and maximize his exit. And Laflamme again won't have any chance into Stowe.
Yeah, it does seem like the dirty air coming through Beckett, just meaning he has to slow a little bit. Whereas Smith, like you say, much better exit, and that's where the gap kind of re-establishes itself, and it's going to be far enough away. And it's how do you break the pattern? How do you kind of break the pattern? Do you try and force a mistake? In the meantime, Gino Gagliano has caught Aaron Curtis. And he's trying to get his SCMM up into 7th place. And he's much closer by comparison. So there might be a look into Stowe. And there is. But I'm going to have to go side by side. A little bit of a squirm on the curb, and Gagliano has to back out of it. Again, having a half a think. Oh my goodness. And was there contact? But Gagliano...
Yeah. It looked like the Max Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel situation in 2019. Gagliano looks to be out of it. He's stuck in the gravel now.
Oh, and this could be interesting.
Yeah, this was...
Is there going to be a call here for a virtual safety car or safety car? Gajano looking like he's out of the race. Full course yellow in 3, 2, 1. Lucas Murno, that promotes him to 9th.
8th.
8th even.
And he's in. He's in.
He's timed that to perfection. He's going to get some fresh tyres, and this is going to be really important. So, after an afternoon where things haven't really been going his way, this one very much has. Murno, Benton Reader in as well.
Poland's also?
And then Poland's from the lead. Perfectly timed. Perfectly timed for them. Smith has followed in.
They might all be able to go until the end from here with a hard tyre, maybe.
I think so. Out we go. There's been no word that this will be upgraded at all. Axel Flam is in the pit, so that showed a garage then. I assume that he's just having a pit stop. Yeah, I think so, yes.
Yeah, it's out again.
In comes Pushka. Yeah, I think, with Poland's getting the timing right, I think it has allowed everyone to kind of just follow suit and go, well, yeah, let's neutralise the tyre situation. So very much now going to be a straight fight between Smith and Laflamme for second. Slightly put paid to Pushka's plans to attack on the softer, more aggressive tyre.
Yeah, for Pushka, this has not worked out. This full course yellow. Also, Aaron Curtis, they haven't been in the pits yet. They started on the hard tyre, and they are definitely going for the one stop. And that may also have been the issue there with Gagiano, because very, very different grip levels met each other on track there. Curtis on those hard tyres that he started the race with, and then Gagiano, well, he has been in the pits for fresh tyres. Yeah, they just tangled.
Yeah, and also Peckley as well. He was also, I think, trying the one stop and trying to run those hard tyres to the end. That kind of puts paid to him. At least he can kind of get on some fresher tyres now. He might even be able to go onto the mediums. He's been such a tyre whisperer this afternoon. We'll see what decision he makes. But yeah, his one stop plan completely neutralised as well.
Then again, I think he didn't lose out much because, as I said before, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have been able to attack anyone from the top 4 with that strategy.
Yes.
So he's now still safe from those behind. Could have also gone the other way, that one stop. I don't know if this is a graphical glitch. Usually it is. Don't think he's still stationary.
I think, yeah, I think he is moving again.
Curtis, let's see what they do. They have been starting on the hard. The hard will, I believe, they will safely get you to the end now. The medium could be a bit of a gamble to switch onto them now. You may
Yes.
have to manage them quite a bit.
So there is Curtis. Yeah, Curtis uses the virtual safety car to make that call. There was half a call. Oh,
There
there's
are a lot of half calls right now.
something was going. I think race control are whispering, and they don't mean to. We were expecting a call from race control there, but nothing yet. I think everyone
I
is.
can tell you, someone's been asked in German to drop back a bit.
Oh.
But yeah, no clue who that was about. And this is interesting now. Hearts for everybody except Curtis. We expected that. But also Axel Laflamme.
Yeah, is this kind of the roll of the dice to try and get him track position over Misha Smith? Will those mediums last the end, or is he going to try and go full push and risk another stop? And 3, 2, 1. full course yellow is over. We are back on.
Oh!
Oh, the Flam drops it on cold tyres. Oh, no, no, no. And it, just because green was called coming through that final chicane, and now he's got a 7-second gap to make up to Misha Smith, and Misha Smith breathes a sigh of relief.
Yeah, and now the risk is for Axel Flam, by the time if he even manages to get back to Smith, these mediums will be pretty worn. While Smith can still benefit from the longer tire life of the hard tires that he's put on.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a very costly mistake indeed. In the meantime, Lucas Murno has got 29 seconds to make up to the next person to pass on the road, but he's now in a similar situation for the second time today, where he's about to tangle with the race leader. It was Pushka before, it's Poland's now. Here we go again. So Lucas Murno trying to unlap himself. He's very, very close this time. And I think he might even make the stick. But no, Poland is not going to let him have that easily. And oh, he's going to try and switch back into Vale. And what a brilliant move that is from Lucas Murno. Good, robust defending from Poland, but very inventive stuff. Bold and well taken. Lucas Murno unlaps himself for the second time today from a second different race leader, and that was a pretty good move to do it too.
Yeah, absolutely. And imagine that could have been for the race win, this one. But still, now it's very important for Murno to get on with it. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure Pascal Polans and Kevin Peters will be on the radio to raise control and say, he has to let me by, he is in my way. Because still, he will be seeing blue flags.
He will. He's got to get out of that kind of zone that triggers the blue flag panels around the track. And I don't think he might be quite out of it yet, but if he can have a lightning fast sectors 2 and 3, he will be safe. Also noted during that Axel Flam, fastest lap of the race, unsurprisingly in clear air with those medium tyres. What can he do with them now? Has he given himself too much of a job to do after that incident? Here we go. Murno hasn't shook Poland's just yet. I'm trying to keep an eye on the side of the track to see if he is still getting blue flags, because you can see the panels flashing at the side of the circuit. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, he might be okay. And Lucas Murno just sets the fastest lap of the race on those hard tyres.
Yeah, and I guess this will put a stop to any arguments that he's holding.
Oh! And there's now been noticed an incident between Murno and Poland. I didn't see contact. Was there contact, I wonder?
Well, it may also be a different incident, because ahead of the green flag, I'm pretty sure that Murno came out of the pits ahead of Poland, so he was not a lap down by them. So I believe that I was wondering when we saw them on track together that there must have been something where Poland's made it past Murno, because, as I said, I'm pretty sure Murno left the pits ahead of Poland's.
Yeah, that's a very good spot indeed. And yeah, now you mention it, you are quite right. And we know that you said that Kevin Peters would be on the phone to race control, but maybe not quite for the reason that we thought. And Peters, he's such a fierce competitor. And if there is an opportunity to get one over on his rivals within the rules, he will do it. And they're looking at it this afternoon. And it hasn't worked on this occasion. No further action has just come through from race control. So whatever happened between them, not this time. Murno, though, continues the push. It's another second consecutive fastest lap of the race, going down by a tenth. So here we go. This is potentially it on Murno. So he moves out of the way. He must have been getting blue flags at that point. Oh no! So I wonder what the incident was, because that was just like you say, after the restart, He was clearly getting the blue flag, so he didn't risk it, but now he has legitimately unlapped himself and gone through. So I'm not sure what incident, unless there's a different angle from their duel where maybe there was contact. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it could also be anyway. It could also been that the Cesario was complaining about something that Poland's did and moving on the braking or anything. I don't know, because and who could blame them? They're all trying to get an advantage over
Mhm.
one another, and this race here today is so crucial for all of the championships because this is the big chance for Pascal Poland, also Philip Pushka potentially to get back into the championship fight because Lucas Murno is running down in eighth. And oh, okay, I just got messages from Kevin Peters who told me that they believe that Murno has held up Pascal Poland's and that they've cost them 1 second
Oh,
the restart.
okay.
So it might have been something that has happened before the situation that we saw in the replay. Well, race control had a look at it and they did not decide to take any action.
And yeah, as kind of on what you were just saying about teams wanting to do whatever they can to get something over their opponents, that was definitely an attempt from the Vanguard team to kind of manufacture, add to Lucas Murno's worries, should we say, this afternoon. He's got some work to do, though. 20 seconds to try and make up to get another place. At the minute, he will pick up 3 points, whilst the Poland's will pick up the full 15. Pushka in fourth. In the meantime, Jean Polaro has got Gonzalez Gativo all of him. Here is Philip Pushka, who's currently working his way through traffic. About 8 seconds, 9 seconds almost, to Laflamme up the road. So very much kind of in a no man's land now after that VSC.
Yeah, talking about Laflamme, we saw the spin right at the restart. The gap is down to just under 5 seconds now. It has been as high as I think 7 seconds just after that spin. So again, he is slowly reeling in Misha Smith. But then again, he's using his tires right now, and he may have the softer option compared to the tires on Smith's car. But how much tire life will he have left when he catches the HRT?
And it's a bit of an interesting situation as well, because obviously, we saw that the medium tyre lasted varying amounts for different people. Early stop was lap 12. Gabriel Peckley went to just under half race distance. So if Axel Laflamme's really pushing these medium tyres, it's obviously going to be closer to 12 than 21 laps, which means he's risking another stop, which means he doesn't currently have enough time to make this stop and get out ahead of Philip Pushka. So he's a bit of a catch-22 here. If he pushes to try and get to Misha Smith, he might burn through his tyres and lose a position. But if he doesn't push, he's guaranteed third. So what do you do? Does he roll the dice? Does he stay where he is? It's a bit of a difficult situation for him, I think, to how to judge how he manages these tyres and where he ends up in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with that explanation, I think the only option that Axel has right now is push as hard as he can because I think he's beyond the point where he can manage those tires to go to the end. So he needs to create a gap that is as big as possible to Philip Pushka to then maybe have the option to go to the softest option and try to get back to Pushka before the end of the race. Because I believe this will be pretty difficult from what we've heard from the teams and Kevin Peters himself, who's told us that you can make it with a one stop if you manage those tires and if you take good care of them. And to be honest, I don't think Laflamme is doing just that right now. And a 22 lap stint, I think it would be for the mediums. We haven't seen that, not even from Peckley, who I think took very good care of them to make them last until lap 21. So I do believe we see another pit stop from Laflamme.
Yeah, he's currently the fastest man on circuit as well. He's not nursing at all. I think you can tell from the way he's driving the car. So Yeah, I think you're right there as well. Just looking to chat. Thank you, Gino Gagliano. A little bit of an explanation on what happened. It's hardware again. Brake pedal exploded. Curtis seems to be carrying on unhindered, so I don't think he did any damage. But yeah, that is an unfortunate way for your afternoon to end. Very unlucky indeed. Hopefully, Pushka still might have a shot at the podium, as you were just discussing. It depends on what happens with Axel Laflamme. In the meantime, we are looking at one of the sister cars. It's Mateus Machado for Potenza Esports.
I think actually that safety car has really helped Diogo Meneghetti. Was on different strategy to Curtis, but he's now pretty much settled there in 6th, running to the end, which would be a mega point scoring result again for Potenza, who really have established themselves as a strong midfield team after a very dreadful first season that they had. Yeah, ever since last year, with Gabriel Peckley as their consistent point scorer, they have established themselves among the midfield.
And it would also be Diogo Meneghetti's best ever result. His previous best result was 11th last time out in Belgium. Very close to his first ever WMSC points. And he's getting even closer today. And it's only his 6th appearance of the season. Mateus Machado has gotten in the points on three separate occasions, including last time out at Belgium. But now Meneghetti has driven very well today, has shown good pace. And like you say, that safety car's fallen his way. And this could be a very good result for him. In the meantime, we join Gonzalez Cativo, who is still trying to find a way past Jean Palauro for 11th, which obviously not a point-scoring position, but you never know what might happen ahead, so this is an important one to fight for. And it's another strong performance from Palauro, as mentioned, many DNS this season. 6, I believe. Oh, and that was very close for Gonzalez Cativo. Let's not make that 7. And very nicely done in the slipstream. Palauro a little bit unsettled there, but Cativo making the move. His second substitute appearance for HRT in a row. And up to 11th. He's got over 20 seconds to the points. Let's see what he can do. In the meantime, back to Mateus Machado, who is slowly reeling in Melo, Thiago Melo in the Bravo Snow Shatten. And you can see the closing speed looks quite noticeable there on the Hanger Straight. And Machado is going to look around the outside, just trying to maybe get Melo offline for the exit so he can make a run down the Hamilton Straight. It's not a place you see it often. You've got to be really close. A bit of a twitch there from Machado. But not this time. He's got to try and hang it out through the flying first sector of this circuit. We've got looks like a car coming up to lap behind, and Machado moves out. Moves out the way. And Melo now needs to move out the way. I think... Deary me. Oh no, it's Axel Laflamme, and there is, as expected, the pit stop. So what tyres there? That says hard. Oh, penalty for Laflamme. That's going to be pit lane speeding. It's given out by the game automatically, and as you can see, it was on pit exit, and that is, he's going to have to go in and do a stop-go penalty. So now he's going to have to fight for that 4th with Gabriel Peckley.
I mean, it's only a drive-through, so I think he might still be ahead of Peckley, and he should have the better tires now. But any chance of a podium for Laflamme is now definitely blown. Still, Machado is having a look against Melo, and I think there has been contact. And Machado is through.
We'll see if anything comes of that. That was very much a little bit of a barge wide, but I was just about to say, Melo was very cheeky in terms of how he... complied, should we say. in air quotes with the blue flags for Lucas Murno to make sure he had the gap. It didn't save him for very long, and I feel like Machado was just like, I'm not messing around here. We'll see what race control say about that. But down one place for Thiago Melo. Meantime, it's going to have to be out of the way for Machado ahead. This time, to be fair, similarly, doesn't move off the racing line, but I do wonder if Machado did let off the throttle maybe a little bit more. Pascal Polens comes through.
Yeah, that and maybe even it was Murno enjoying the slipstream there a bit from Thiago Melo. Not sure about that, but it was a very, very late move then. Anyway, Lucas Murno, I think he will be fighting for P7 quite soon. Not long before he catches Aaron Curtis.
He's made very, very good progress to catch Curtis in that time.
And I'm currently looking at the lap time. So Lucas Murno's last lap was 1:29.6, and I think this was with the Thiago Melo incident. Diego Meneghetti, who is ahead of Aaron Curtis, just over 20 seconds, is going around 2 seconds slower compared to Lucas Murno. So if Murno clears Curtis quickly, P6 might just be on in the final laps of this race.
And that would be a hell of a recovery. Mateus Machado has been given a 5-second time penalty for that incident with Melo. And I think, yeah, you kind of barged your opponent out of the way there. There's robust racing and there's destruction derby. And yeah, it was a bit over the line, it has to be said, for Machado. So, yep, 5 seconds for him. And then, yeah, as you were saying, as Axel Laflamme retakes the fastest lap crown with his fresh tyres, he's going to have to push on them. He really is, to make sure he can stay ahead. He's managed to pull 3 seconds, I think, over Peckley already. So he's clearly very quick in this this first phase with the tyres coming up to temperature. But yeah, it would be a hell of a recovery for Lucas Murno, considering how rough his afternoon's been, how far back he dropped, to have unlocked himself twice and then be fighting up in the points. 6th place would get him 5 points, which means he would only lose 10 to Pascal Polens, and only 4 points to Philip Pushka. Sorry, 5 points to Philip Pushka, he would say. Sorry, he would lose. Good maths, as always. Do not ask me to do your accounting. In the meantime, Lucas Murno has caught up to Aaron Curtis. And Curtis is immediately trying to break the toe, but the speed in which Murno has closed going to be forced to go the long way around. And a brave and bold move, who's seen a couple of them from him this afternoon, dispatched very quickly indeed. So, 23 seconds to go, just under 10 laps. Can Lucas Murno catch Diogo Meneghetti? Here he goes.
Well, and if he wants to do that, he needs to pick up the pace, because right now he's not gaining enough. 1.5 seconds difference on the last lap. There might have been also some effect from the dirty air from Curtis, so it'll be interesting to wait for the next lap to see their lap times in clear air. But as it stands, I would say there is not enough laps left for Murno to catch Meneghetti unless anything unforeseen happens. In the meantime, I had a look at the tire situation. I'm quite intrigued, actually, because Axel Laflamme, with his pit stop, has taken another set of hard tires. Now, this is an interesting choice, given that he was on the mediums before. And he actually had 3 tire choices. He still went for the hardest option to finish this race. Now, I wonder if the wear was so bad on the mediums that they thought that the hard was the safest option to go, as there is someone far off the track. That Brzezinski.
I think so. Yep, it is Brzezinski. I was going to say the first rejoin was safe. That wasn't as much. Oh, and here comes Laflamme for his drive through. So where is Peckley now? The time is coming down. He's done a good job at bolstering that gap, and I think he is going to get out okay.
You cut quite a bit of the track in that pit lane in Silverstone. I mean, the pit limiter line is quite early, but still the other cars have to go around this whole club and vale section while you just cut through it. I think, that has saved him a bit there.
It has indeed. And I think that does mean that Laflamme will finish 4th this afternoon, which obviously starting from 11th after taking pole, but also that 10-place grid drop for the engine. How different it could have been if maybe he'd not picked up damage on lap 1 and could have made swifter progress. And then, of course, that mistake on the restart. Also a big turning point for his afternoon. It'll be another solid result for him, but yeah, maybe could have been on the podium this afternoon. Still pushing very hard. I don't think he's going to get very far. In the meantime, Aaron Curtis getting out of the way of the race leader. Curtis passed just a few laps ago by Lucas Murno. Murno has only been able to shut the gap by a few seconds, so I think Murno might be settling for 7th there, which, considering how bleak it looked at one point, is still a decent haul of points for him. And he will, of course, remain the leader of the championship.
I think this is pretty much confirmed now that 7th is what he will be settling for. Still, he's going 1.5 seconds quicker than Diogo Meneghetti, and he's been doing so for quite a while. But if my maths is correct, and no guarantees there, I'm pretty sure that this will not be enough to catch Meneghetti by the end of this race.
I have more faith in your maths than I do in mine, so that's I am inclined to agree with you there. Just kind of looking at championship picture, if things stay as they are. So Pascal Poland's win will take him to 101 points and breaking triple figures. Philip Pushka's 3rd place will see him on 108, so just 7 points separating them. Whereas Lucas Murno's 7th place will see him on 126, so he will be 18 clear of Philip Pushka and 25 clear of Pascal Poland's. So still just over a race win clear of both of his rivals. So good damage limitation from him should things stay the way they are.
Yeah, and I also think that Lucas Murno will be quite happy to see Pascal Poland's winning this race and not his immediate opponent in the Drivers' Championship, Philip Pushka, who's been running in 2nd so far. So, all things considered, still I think a pretty decent afternoon for Lucas Murno. Could have been much, much worse after those first 5 laps that we've seen from him.
It will sadly bring to an end his run of 9 races in a row on the podium with 4 firsts, 3 seconds, and 2 thirds. But he will keep his 100% point scoring record this season. This would actually be his worst result of the season, which is stark contrast to the fact that Diogo Meneghetti, finishing 1 place ahead of him, might be about to pick up his best ever result, not just this season, but in WMSC. The contrasting fortunes of drivers in this series. But you have to give it to Meneghetti. He has driven very, very well this afternoon indeed. Stayed out of trouble, shown good pace. And it will be some good points for him and, of course, for Potenza.
Yeah, just as you were saying, Lucas Murno's point scoring run, 100% point scoring results this season. In fact, since the 3rd race of the 2023 season, he's only finished outside of the points twice. And in fact, these both were retirements. So he really is Mr. Consistency here in the WMSC. Also, still, he is the record holder for most consecutive points finishes, which were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 races in 2023. And then he continued on for 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 points finishes in a row between Bahrain 2023 and the United States 2024.
That's an incredible, incredible run. And obviously had to start fresh at the beginning of this season. Those two DNFs coming at the end of last season. But the consistency's there again. Who knows, next year might be looking at if he's going to break his own record. Keep an eye out for that for sure.
Alexander Knezovic in the chat. Misha is driving the last laps with no sound, so some game issues there as we just watch him on screen.
He's got 13 and a half seconds to Philip Pushka. And that is going to be quite frustrating because, it's you're not constantly like glancing at the rev limiter. You have the lights to help you, but sound for kind of gear change is a big helper.
Yeah, absolutely. I could not imagine. I know how frustrated I would be because when I drive purely relying on the sounds on when to change gears. Never even has to bothered having a look at the lights or the revs that you see on screen, as there might have been a little moment there into Vale.
Yeah, it's going to be affecting his upshifts and downshifts. He's not going to be kind of switching maybe at the most effective points, especially if he's having to glance down at his heads-up display a lot more than he usually would, other than kind of, having the sound just to kind of go off. Yeah, it is quite frustrating. It's it is. He's lost the sense, essentially. He's completely lost one of his senses in terms of driving these final few laps. But hopefully he can hold it together. At the minute, the gap is actually gone up a few tenths since we started following Misha Smith. So he's doing a solid job, and it will be a second consecutive second place finish for Holland Racing Team. Knezovic last week, Smith this week, and it's fantastic to see.
On the topic, which sense would you most likely want to lack while driving a car? I guess it's got to be smell. Right?
Yeah. The only downside to smell is obviously if you. Is that Meneghetti?
Oh no, Meneghetti! Oh well, we were talking nonsense. Meneghetti's lost the front wing. Oh dear.
Oh, and this is going to knock him down the order, but how far? There's a gap to Benton Reader. He might still come out in 8th, because I think the time taken to repair... Oh, Curtis is in. Curtis is in as well.
Yeah, but Curtis, this might also be that the mediums are just completely dead now, and he essentially has a free pit stop. But I'm not sure if...
How long is it going to take? There's the wing on. Oh, Meneghetti will get out. Just so, Lucas Murno. It's even better for Lucas Murno. Inherits 6th and another point. That's huge for him. Meneghetti, it will still be his best ever result in WMSC, but he might have a hard-charging Aaron Curtis to deal with on fresher tyres, and it's through Maggots and Beckett. Comes out through Chapel, just gets on the grass in Chapel, hard on the brakes, and he, to be fair, does a good job to make sure it is just a front wing and not a retirement.
Yeah, absolutely. This is also such a frustrating mistake to make, and such an easy one to do. To drop it just on the grass there into Chapel, a bit too early out of Beckett's. It's so unfortunate, but it still will be a career best finish, 7th. Curtis, I don't know. They might have blown an opportunity to get past Meneghetti there as well, but just staying out on those mediums for 2-3 laps longer.
Yeah, I imagine that Meneghetti would have taken tyres as well, so
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a particular offset. In fact, yeah, both of them are now showing as being on the soft tyre. So, yeah, no real help there. But here is Gabriel Peckley, who has been a solid performer throughout this season. Only one DNF, otherwise in the points on every other occasion, and one podium to his name, a third place back in Bahrain. And it's consistent scoring, and that's what's needed, because it keeps Scuderia Cesario very much in the fight for the Constructors' title. However, it is going to be another solid afternoon for Vanguard that will solidify their lead by a few points more this afternoon. Again, damage limitation for Cesario. Pushka's done a great job for SCMM, but obviously that brake explosion for Gajano, meaning they have lost out, because I think it was going to be a double points finish for them as well.
Tell you what, I was just about to say this would be the first time that Peckley finishes ahead of Lucas Murno in a race. Then again, they are 5th and 6th right now. Cesario could have the option to switch them now after Meneghetti's incident. I wonder if they're considering it at the moment. They could pull in Peckley for a pit stop. And there is another car running off the road. I guess that's Brzezinski again, as Pascal Polens has just entered the final lap of this race.
And a solid drive from him this afternoon, steering clear of the incidents, making sure he, got ahead. Stayed ahead, I should say. Obviously, he qualified third, but both drivers ahead with penalties to serve. Fought off Smith and Pushka at the start, and since then hasn't really looked back. I think what really helped him was he made sure he made the decisive call on that first stop for the undercut. It's given him the space, and he's clear. And what do you know? Gabriel Peckley is in the pits, and there's going to be a switch. Interestingly enough, I think for the second race in a row, it looks like Axel Flam is going to pick up fastest lap of the race, which will go for a separate prize at the end of the season. No extra point for that. However, all 15 points are going to go to his teammate Pascal Polens. A fine drive after missing out the last two races, which have really put a dent in his chances. He gets one back just when he needs it. Pascal Polens wins at Silverstone for the second year in a row. Fine result from him. In the meantime, Misha Smith crosses the line without sound, and it's going to be the second consecutive second place finish for Holland Racing Team. Misha Smith's best ever result. Philip Pushka coming home third, trying to run a different strategy. Didn't get to play out, but in the end does at least pick up a podium. In the meantime, Axel Flam could have been in the fight for second. How costly was that mistake? And then the subsequent drive-through does at least hang on for fourth. Will take his points tally to 82. And so Peckley has still come out ahead of Lucas Murno, but as we come out of Maggots and Beckett's, I think we might see Peckley getting very wide there. I think we're about to see a bit of strategic swapping of red cars, not for the first time in open-wheeled racing history. We see some orchestration by the red team to switch teammates, but another point, and up to fifth for Lucas Murno. That is incredible damage limitation for him, and good team play there from Gabriel Peckley. And he is now exactly 20 points clear of his nearest rival. In the meantime, though, Diogo Meneghetti, despite that late incident, will hang on for his first ever points in WMSC and Potenz's best result of the season. And Meneghetti is going in, or is he already? Was
No,
he a lap
he's
down?
finished. He's a lap
Oh,
down.
he's down. So he comes seventh. and finishes. So our provisional results, we're not expecting any penalties or changes. So Pascal Polens is your race winner from Misha Smith, Philip Pushka in third, Axel Flam fourth. The Cesarios with the late swap, meaning Murno comes home fifth, a great recovery from him. Diogo Meneghetti, as just mentioned, best ever result for him, best result of the season so far for Potenza. Aaron Curtis and Dominic Rustermeyer make it a double points finish for your United Racing Club. And shout out to Daniel Benton, reader, serving that back of the grid penalty, but driving well to come home ninth. His first point scoring finish since Austria. Those that just miss out, Gonzalez Cativo comes home 11th ahead of Jean Palaro. Mateus Machado still 5th ahead of Thiago Melo. He did have a 5-second penalty. We'll check if that affects his spot when it comes to the timings at the end of the race. Gabriel Hubé is 15th ahead of Maximilian Jaeger. João Marcos Angeli 17th, and Gustavo Brzezinski does finish after an eventful race for him, does at least finish his debut. Gino Gajano retiring, as does Jendrik Beerhoff and Paolo Walami and Harley Self. Once again, we will wait for the mysterious hand to move our top three into the chat, and we will speak to our podium sitters in just a moment. And in fact, I believe in record pace, we have at least one of them. We have our race winner. The other two will be moved in just a moment. But since our race winner is here, let's have a chat to him. Pascal Polens, congratulations. A very good drive this afternoon. How was that for you?
Well, first of all, thanks. Yeah, the race was interesting. I mean, I think we all saw that we didn't have the best pace, especially compared to the Cesarios. But yeah, they had problems on their own in qualifying and in the race. And yeah, after that, it was all about maximizing the race. Had a nice small fight with Micha, and yeah, I think it was quite a decent afternoon after that.
Now, obviously, you had I think the main event for you was the start, and then obviously the decision on the pit stop. Because after then, it kind of gave you the space to kind of run your own race. At that point, was the timing of that first pit stop very much on your mind, and making sure you didn't get undercut by Smith in particular?
Yeah, of course, we looked after that because they also have a very fast pit crew, so we needed to be aware of that. And yeah, we also had the pace advantage compared to Gabriel Peckley, so yeah, we just took the timing and went straight in. Our plan was always to do a two-stopper, and that was a perfect fit for us.
It's been an important afternoon for you, trying to pull some points back after missing the last two races. On to Baku for the very first time. What do you feel your chances are going into the street circuit?
First of all, I hope that I'll survive, especially the castle section. And yeah, I mean, if I survive the race, I'm looking for the top 3 at least once again, and that's the plan, and I'll go for next race.
Well, brilliant result this afternoon, and good luck for the next races. Could be very important to try and keep yourself in the fight. Very well done.
Thank you very much.
Now, I've had a couple of messages from Alexander Knezovic about can we write questions to Misha Smith, but I believe he said he can again. So does that mean you can
Okay.
hear again?
Hello.
You can. Hello, Misha.
I can hear something for 2 minutes, maybe. So.
Okay, we do it as quickly as we can. Congratulations on your very first podium.
Thank you.
How was that for you today?
That was amazing. So it's been a while coming. I mean, a year ago I was last on this race, so it's been a good turnaround. In the first stint I was close to Pascal, only a second behind, and I was keeping pace with him. So I didn't expect that at all, but I was like, okay. maybe we can fight for this. And then he pitted, and I was like, maybe I can do an overcut, but the undercut was really strong, so that wasn't really an option. And then about 10 laps from the end, my headset just died, and I couldn't hear anything, so I had to do everything on visual and nothing on ear. So that was a bit tricky and difficult, but made it work. I'm really happy with this podium.
No, and as you should be. I can tell there's a lot of confidence in the car at the minute, especially with some of the moves you're making. And obviously, first lap you had a title contender in Philip Pushka attacking you, and you defended robustly. You defended robustly from Axel Laflamme. The development on the HRT car has been really strong throughout the season. Do you imagine you're going to be able to keep this up to the end and keep challenging for podiums?
That's gonna depend on what other teams are gonna do, but for now it seems like we're a lot more competitive than we used to be. Since I'd say Kai Lamy. I mean, Kai Lamy was for me at least the last time where I was competitive in P4. So it's been a tricky middle part of the year, I'd say, especially with some couple of lap 1 incidents that didn't help me in my positions, but. This one is a very sweet taste, and I hope we can keep this up because that'll be great for us. I guess I don't know if we can actually fight for anything still in the championship, but I'd love to still fight for something.
Well, both you this week and your teammate Alexander Knezovic last week, wins maybe not out of the question. Maybe is that a potential that you can fight for at least maybe the top spot in a race remaining this season?
Well, I mean, I had I had a bit more time, I think, this week for practice as well. That helped as well with the pace, and I think I showed with pretty much the same pace all race compared to Poland's. Some obviously undercuts and other traffic didn't help the gap grow, I think, but overall, the pace was pretty much the same for us too. So if that's already the case, then I think with the experience I've got now, I think I might be able to do it. Depends on how the car performs, obviously.
Well, very best of luck and congratulations on that first
Thank
podium.
you, mate.
And finally, to Philip Pushka. Philip, it seemed like a mostly quiet afternoon for you.
Yeah, I mean, the car was not very good. Felt very bad considering the balance and the overall feeling of the car and performance. So I think the podium was absolutely the maximum I could get out of the car this race. But I'm still not happy with it because I think the way the race went was pretty unlucky to say the least, and some points.
Yeah, I imagine the timing of that virtual safety car kind of neutralizing your strategy to give yourself a chance at getting closer to the guys ahead.
Yeah, I mean, after that, the wave was done. So that was my only hope and chance to get some shot at P2 maybe. But yeah, in the end, that was it basically.
You mentioned a few times this season you've been very much trying to maximize what you can in terms of the car. Do you think there's anything you can do in these remaining races to kind of shut the gap? And do you feel like there's a shot at wins between now and the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, you can always do better. I think the car has been quite good all season. Not the best, but pretty good. So podium was pretty much every race possible. In the end, there was not enough pace yet to really be a serious contender in terms of get it close to a few points to the championship leader. But I think with a little bit of luck, maybe in the last few races, I could get some interesting races ahead of us.
Well, that sounds very promising indeed. Congratulations on the podium today, Philip.
Yeah, thanks.
And that brings us to the end of another eventful race at Silverstone. Next time, as we've alluded to, for the very first time in WMSC, we go to the streets of Azerbaijan and Baku. This is going to be very interesting indeed. And I cannot wait to see what might unfold because I can imagine it could be chaos ahead. And I do hope you will join us for it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you for the next race very soon.